everyone. We've got Dennis, Yusuf here, and I'm with Darren Hunter, and we are IGT, and this is the Top Growth Podcast Show. Darren, this is session 2, back at, what was it, number 50?
Episode 50. We did the Investor Support Services part 1, and we actually go, oh, where's part 2? All right, so here is part 2. I guess we do get a little bit distracted, but everyone, we're actually, we've put together what's called a peak performance growth tracker, which is a spreadsheet. The people that are on the journey with us in the IGT Mastermind and also the IGT Peak Performance Program, and I guess the main differences there is one is price, but also in the level of accountability that we've woven into it. Now, the spreadsheet we're keeping everyone accountable to requires a certain amount of points to be scored every day. And I guess, Dennis, it's probably good that we just quickly run through all the different sections on this tracker. So people they got to generate activity points around video, around articles and working their database, around the meetings like BNI, around training and learning. Also, they've got to generate points around all the calls and connects that they've got to do every day, and just the cold, hard, raw prospecting. Then, of course, social media, marketing, testimonials, events like investor support services, and investor events, and so forth, evenings, and then, of course, getting right into working with the sales team. So today, with the investor support services part 2, we're going to talk about open homes attended and working the list that's generated from people that have attended those home opens, and then also auctions as well. And perhaps we'll just touch on caravans. We might leave that up for another episode if we run out of time. But Dennis, let's just get into it. So at the moment, there is a lot of potential investors going through home opens or sales opens or whatever you want to call them, which is a property for sale that's open to the public for people to come through. And you've got a mixture of who we got. We got investors, owner occupiers, anyone else?
Sticky beaks, the neighbours.
Sticky beaks. Correct. So the neighbours coming in just have a sticky beak. But that's true. That is so true.
There's 2 types of sticky beaks. There's one sticky beak that's the neighbour, and they're intrigued because they do want to know what this house sells for, right? They want to know what their neighbour's house sells for because it'll give them a bit of a guide. And of course, their home is better than the one that's for sale, so they can get more. But what that is, that's a lead generation for a sales agent, as an example, or it's a potential investor for the BDM that's attending. Now, the other sticky beak, Darren, is the person that has currently got their house for sale in that region. They are going to those home opens.
Of course. They want to see what they're up against.
Yeah, because that is a rival. If their house is for sale in the street or the suburb or region and it's similar, that is a rival to them. Okay, that's how the owners are thinking. But as well as the sales agents are thinking, that's a potential new sale because their one's not selling. They're coming to my home open. But a BDM has got to be thinking differently. And we're going to talk about.
In this case, you're talking about a BDM needs to attend these. So wouldn't a salesperson perhaps get their backup, Dennis, about a BDM attending? What are some things that BDMs need to be aware of, or how can they be working in conjunction with the salesperson at the home open so the BDM is useful and not causing an issue?
I love the way you said that because, of course, they are going to find it an issue. What the heck is a property manager doing at my home open? You know, of course, an uneducated sales agent is going to think that. But an educated one, where the BDM has actually advised and educated the sales agent, the benefits of them being there are, firstly, if you have an investor that is looking to purchase the property and they're asking you questions in relation to property management, I will be there to answer those questions and give them an updated rental opinion on it. Because when you listed this property 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, I gave you the rent on it, but I gave you the rent on the value of the property at that time. Rental markets change. There are things that a potential investor could do to this property to get a higher rent, which is only going to speed the process up and sell the property for you, right? So my advice can help them. If Darren, you're the sales agent. If I'm educating you, Darren, if this potential investor buys the property down the road from the rival and you introduced me to this investor and I list that property, then I'm happy to offer you some form of incentive for that. So, you've got to educate them. I can supply a letter, a financial letter stating this is what the rent return would be straight away to
Correct.
that potential
Well,
investor.
the alternative, of course, is the salesperson doing their own rental appraisal, which they still do, and they'll just get it wrong, and they usually over exaggerate, leaving the rent roll later on, a bit red faced that will know we wouldn't have actually priced it at that, but you can't have salespeople giving rental opinions. So having a BDM there is the best thing that you can do to fast track that connection from sales to property management and have that first connection. And Dennis, I reckon, doesn't matter how many other sales opens that investor goes to, they are not going to meet a BDM.
No, not at all. Not at all. And Darren, I want to add to this as well, because a sales agent may actually say, but it's currently rented, but it doesn't mean it's at current rent. Right? And it could be a property that's for sale while your agency, however, is managed by another agent, or it's privately managed. It's self-managed by that particular owner. So there's so many benefits for you to be there, because you as an agency, no doubt, are taking over properties from rivals and the properties are under rented. They haven't had increases in a period of time, or whatever the case. It's about educating the sales agents that it's a benefit for you being there, bridging the gap between sales and property management, and it shows potential investors that BM and sales work together.
Okay, so the BDM is to give out a letter of what they believe the rent is worth on that particular property, with, of course, comparable rentals in the area.
Yep.
You've got your evidence there. What are some other ways that the BDM can connect with that property investor to start the journey with them?
Well, they could actually be at the registration. So when let the sales agent go into the property, talk to them, upsell the property, or the BDM can be standing with the sales agent and doing the registration. So Darren, you come to a home open. Hi Darren, thanks for coming to the home open of 52 ABC Street. I've just got to take your details, your name, your number, and ask them, is this an investment property that you're looking to purchase? Fantastic. Once Darren says yes or no, that's great. I'm actually from the property management department. Go through, have a look at it. If you've got any questions, when you come back, I'll tell you what the updated rental opinion is and how you can achieve a higher return if you are looking to purchase this particular property. Get them intrigued. And you can also say, is there any other properties that you're looking to purchase in the area? I'm happy to give a rental opinion on those as well. It doesn't even have to be through our particular agency. So you can meet them right at the registration.
Yep. Okay. So let's now just move on to the home opens over, but we've got a registration list of people that came through. What can that BDM do with that list? Now, not everyone there, of course, is going to be a potential lead. So what do they do? How do they sort it from this point?
Well, the reason why you need to make a call to the registrations, the home opens, because you could be working in an office of 20 sales agents and there might be a home open at the same time. You're not going to get to all of them, but you would pick particular ones. So you could do a customer service call to them, work with the sales agent. Obviously, you're trying to feed leads to them. You're doing a customer service call. And you ask them, hi, I'm Deniz from the customer service department of IGT Realty. You attended a home open over the weekend with Darren Hunter. I've just got a couple of questions, if that's okay. So you did attend the property? Yes. Darren would have given you the relevant information on the property? Yes. Is this an investment property you're looking to buy? Yes. No. Have a banana. Then you can move into it. Obviously, you update the sales agent on their questions, feed that information to the sales agent, but it's just identifying the lead. So it's what we're doing is stopping the blockage of investors that are coming through and buying off all our rivals. So attending the sales home open and calling those registrations as a customer service does that.
And for me, I'd want to have a guide like 12 things that good tenants want. I want to be able to email this to you. Now you got their email address. Now I can put them on my email database and keep them informed every couple of weeks with good quality information, which only forces our brand top of mind. So there's all those wonderful benefits, you know, and hopefully that person that buys their next investment property, of course, is going to sign up with us. But if not, we've got their details that we can just keep them drip fed.
Darren, there is so many things that you could do, and that's the stuff that we are training our peak performance program people around, all the things that you do now. All we're talking about is identifying the leads.
Yes.
You know, our coaching, we talk about how to convert those leads, right? Yeah. So, yeah. You know, but there's another area, Darren, that what you could do. So you could actually attend auctions as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you
correct. So Dennis, I'm going to leave that because I reckon that's another podcast show in itself. But everyone, just on this spreadsheet here, we've got probably at least 50 ways to generate leads that you'll be held accountable to. So Dennis, just very quickly, what's the difference between the mastermind and the peak performance program in regards to content, in regards to accountability? What's the difference there? I know one is only 12 weeks, the other is a minimum 12 months into our growth community, but what are the other major differences?
It's a really good question, and I've had this, you know, a lot of people ask me, especially those ones that are in the mastermind. They're asking me, "What's the peak performance?" The mastermind, yes, there's accountability. There is, it's a 12-week program, so we've got a 12-week program versus a minimum 12-month program.
Yeah,
you know, so the mastermind is great for BDMs. Business owners can be part of it as well. There's homework that's being sent. There's a session once a week for 12 weeks. You know, whereas the community that we're creating in the IGT Peak Performance Program, that's like 2 levels up from the mastermind. We're creating a program. You've got so much more access to us. We're going to be doing Q&As. That's part of it. That's your business, your company growth. That is not a BDM course. You know, that program gives you access to so many more resources and benefits as well, which is including AI. You know, Darren?
Everyone, if you're a business owner who's focused on rent roll growth, so this is not for a boss that's just focused on sales and he's got a BDM, he wants to throw a BDM into the program and wish him the best. We can't allow people in like that. So if you're a rent roll focused business owner, and you're really hungry for growth, you want accountability for growth, so we will keep you accountable to the correct lead generation strategies that you'll have access to and access us at any time to help you be part of that growth community. Then just book into Dennis's diary. Just go to growmyrentroll.com. That's growmyrentroll.com and have a chat to Dennis about what program is going to be suitable for you. But really, Mastermind is really a taste, isn't it, Dennis, for what the peak performance is all about. So it's sort of a very brief introduction, but only if you're serious, of course. We can only take serious people. We do got to put people through an interview as well before they join peak performance. But anyway, so some really good teaching in there, everyone, particularly around open homes. I did say we'll do auctions today, but we'll do that next time. So look out for that, because it needs a podcast in itself, Dennis, because I know you've got so much teaching around connecting BDMs to new growth opportunities at auctions, and you really mastered that. So it needs.
Well, there's a 12-step process to do at auctions that we could go through, Darren. So it definitely does deserve a separate podcast.
It does. Anyway, thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you in the next podcast show.